I put this in paint here and cut out the part on the left that gives my name and my account number. But as you can see, I opened the account in January, made 2 plays, the NFC Championship game, and then the Super Bowl. And there's my total. So either I'm the luckiest gambler on the plane here, or as I've pointed out in these 2 videos, pro football is certainly rigged. I'll let you decide in this part 3. Okay, so as soon as this one hit and went live, it got about 13 views. I had a couple likes. Now it's only got 1 like or whatever. But anyhow, for those of you that believe we have free speech in America, they should name this ThemTube instead of YouTube, because if you're not advertising, you're allowed to use copyrighted material. This is for educational purposes. All I'm trying to do is point out, like the title says, that pro football is rigged. No one's allowed to see part 2, even if they are allowed to see part 1, but now they've copyright claimed part 1. I like how during the Super Bowl here, the advertisements are showing fake outer space with real things. They like to mix the fake with the real, like the fake sports that everybody believes is a real sporting event. This tells you all the money is on Kansas City because they were originally -3 favorites. Now, second half, all the Kenny G gamblers they know love to back their play, and they're giving them a way to do that. Look at this. Okay, all you have to do here is take this 7.5, you click on it, it goes to 7 for the spread. So I would imagine the Bucks will win by 22 points, and they'll take all the bettors' money that bet on Kansas City. They game the gambler by usually showing you a money spread that's -120 or 125 for the VIG, or -110. The higher it is, the more likely that is to occur in the gambler's mind. They're just taking your money. Wake up. Again, they say 59% of the public had picked Kansas City. It's all rigged for the money, folks. Wake up. Pro football and all these sports that you gamble on are fake, like fake outer space.
Super Bowl, if anyone that watched it, you noticed all the flags that the refs threw on the Chiefs. And it was obvious who the NFL wanted to win the Super Bowl in the first half. So we'll start off with this one. The Bucks aren't really doing anything, so the flags start coming out because the Bucks need to get on the board. So they start throwing these flags. You tell by the reaction of the player, there wasn't really a flag there. Now, a lot of these flags can be called. The thing is, it's so inconsistent that, like last week in the NFC Championship, the refs were not calling any flags, and then this week they're really helping out the Bucks with all these flags. They call them the corner for holding here. That was, I mean, it could go, but man, that was a really nitpicky call. And what it is the Chiefs have been getting so many favorable calls from the refs all season that the defensive players for the Chiefs are used to getting away with stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, the refs aren't helping the Chiefs anymore. So next up, this is starting in the second half. The Bucks are up, but they probably want the Bucks up more by halftime. So it's an interception. This is what I'm talking about. This is a real play right here. Nothing here is scripted. But it doesn't follow the main script that the NFL wants of the Bucks to score. So what happens, you see a flag and they call back the interception. This guy doesn't have any clue what's going on. He's a captain, so maybe he has a little bit of an idea. But he's all confused. What's the flag for? I got an interception. I'm losing an interception. Doesn't fully understand. These guys make sure it stays on script, so they throw a kind of bullshit holding flag to call back that interception, keep the Bucks on the script. Bucks are supposed to score. Keep them on that script the NFL has. Here's the flag for holding. No, there's nothing there. That's not freaking holding. And the flag came in so late after the interception that the only reason they threw the flag is because of the interception. They have to keep it on the script. Interception. It is just a fluke play. Stuff like this does happen. This wasn't supposed to happen. And so the refs, these guys, make sure it doesn't happen by throwing a flag. Holding, you throw on every flag, on every play. So we get a field goal. But the NFL was not happy with the Bucs only getting a field goal. So you see another flag. Are you serious? And this one's even more ridiculous. I think these players are in on it. The female ref, I'm sure she's super qualified to be in the Super Bowl. Female ref. I doubt she got the job just because she's a female. All right, so it's offsides on the Chiefs, and look, you're like looking. What's the offsides? How can an NFL player line up offsides? You'll see on the replay, like a professional, and they line up offsides. I don't think so. Pretty sure these guys were told to line up offsides, and then like a WWE. Oh, look at these stupid guy lines up offsides. Like, look at him. They said 20, but I think 20 was also offsides, but I think they really meant number 17. Lines completely offsides. Like, come on, man. You're an NFL player making a high school football mistake, lining up offsides in the Super Bowl. Give me a freaking break. So whatever, the Bucs get the ball back, throw a touchdown. Mike Evans trips. They call pass interference here, late flag, super late flag, not pass interference. I give the refs a little bit of leeway on this one. It was incidental contact. But then when you look at it again, this ball was not catchable by Mike Evans. Like, I don't think he was going to catch that ball. And so the refs throw the flag for pass interference. Why? Because they got to keep the drive alive, make sure the Bucs stay on script, score before halftime. So they want the Bucs up 21-6 by halftime. Flag here. The players all confused, but that's not the best indicator because players always act confused on flags. So call pass interference. Whatever. You can see the refs really helping the Bucs here. If you look carefully on the replay, it was incidental contact. He hit his foot and accidentally tripped Mike Evans. I don't expect the ref to see that, but I think Mike Evans flopped and that ball wasn't catchable anyway. So this was just a kind of a bullshit, nitpicky flag. Just accidental contact. Though it's pretty obvious this guy wasn't trying to trip Mike Evans. Mike Evans just fell because their feet collided. It was incidental. Tom Brady, the depth of field on this makes it look like some kind of video game or something. I don't know. I found this weird. Like all this depth of field with Tom Brady. So the next one, the 1st and goal for the Bucs. And the Bucs really need to score. It's 13 seconds left. NFL needs to get the Bucs to score. So we see this. And this is just... This is a bad pass interference call. Throws the ball way over Mike Evans' head. The ref, I think this is a female ref, throws a flag for pass interference immediately. This is not pass interference. This ball's not even catchable. The thing with pass interference is it has to be a catchable ball. If it's not a catchable ball, you're not interfering with anything because the receiver wasn't going to catch it anyway. Player probably doesn't know the extent it's rigged and is all confused, like doesn't know what's up. But it is pretty obvious who the NFL and the refs wanted to win the Super Bowl with the first half, with all these flags coming out for nitpicky flags that they didn't throw before. And the Chiefs have been getting favorable calls by the refs all year. So the Chiefs were probably a little surprised. The players that don't know it's rigged are surprised that, hey, we're getting away with all these flags in the regular season. Now all of a sudden they're calling us for flags like this. Like, how is this pass interference? I mean, just look at this replay. Tom Brady airmailed the ball. Mike Evans is not Stretch Armstrong here. He's not going to be able to reach out and grab this football. It's not pass interference. So whatever. The game's rigged and the refs just want when I say refs, I mean the NFL wanted the Bucs to win. Should be pretty obvious by the way they were throwing the flags in the first half. And yeah, the Chiefs played pretty bad, so they didn't really need help from the refs, but the the refs still were helping the Bucs out. And what do you expect from a Tom Brady team? Tom Brady gets a lot of help from the refs. He's the golden boy of the NFL. Now, in a few years, it'll be Patrick Mahomes getting all these favorable calls, and Patrick Mahomes will be the golden boy. But for now, Tom Brady, still the golden boy, about probably ready to enter a retirement home, still be playing when he's like 55 or whatever. Refs still giving him favorable calls. Now, that's all I got for today. If you're expecting a real, non-manipulated game of football in the Super Bowl, sorry, not happening. Thanks for watching.
Didn't look like much. Bunch of guys running around in a pile of mud. So they strapped on leather and introduced a few rules just to keep the peace. Suddenly, we had a game on our hands. So we added more rules and better equipment, like hard plastic helmets, then the face mask. Followed quickly by, nah, man, you can't grab that. Once we got rolling, we never looked back. We certainly have come a long way. Thing is, we're just getting started. Here's to making the next century safer and more exciting than ever. Forever forward, forever football.
Since most of us now know the pro football is fake, is the theory of evolution fake as well? Let's check out the Super Bowl 55 commercials, where they want to program the minds of the sheeple that believe that pro football is real into showing the fake ball earth and making you believe that is real, and mixing that lie with real truth in the commercials.
They promise it's round. Again, with the fake ball earth programming during the fake Super Bowl, fake sports with real babies.
World, meet babies. Born today, like literally hours ago. And good news, kid, being a baby is pretty great. You can eat when you want, sleep when you want, and go when you want. That's where we come in. Football, it'll make sense later.
It'll make sense when you realize it's just programming and it's fake. More predictive programming for you, mixing the real with the fake space, pretending like we've went to Mars. Now we don't have to prick our fingers anymore.
Technology.
Also, I like how Nick Jonas says technology can do this to his face. Really, it's CGI, and it's the same technology Elon Musk will use to fake land his first colony on Mars. I would assume it'll be in Greenland, since Trump tried to buy Greenland, if you recall, and they've already exposed, I believe some flat earthers have shown video of their little rover supposedly training, I'm sure that's what NASA would say, in Greenland. But, we know that's the Mars footage they filmed. Anyhow, if you want a good tip, all you Kenny G gamblers out there, if you missed the Super Bowl bet that I released here in the part one and you didn't get any action this year, go get you an Ameritrade account or some sort of stock trading platform and watch Tesla. Now, you saw these commercials with the General Motors advertising 30 different cars by 2025 would be electric. So that should really impact Tesla's car sales. So he'll merge before then his other technology, this brain implant thing he's got going on, and his SpaceX, all under one umbrella, probably. An IPO will be offered with that and Tesla and all those other companies combined. You better buy that stock, because it will go to the moon, not literally to Mars, but it will go up significantly when he fake lands on Mars. Guaranteed he'll make it. It won't fail. Just like the moon landings. You make some money.
To do this,
Drones deliver packages, and people with diabetes are still pricking their fingers? What? We've got self-driving cars, robots that vacuum, these things. We visited Mars. And finger sticks? Really? Well, that's about to change.
Real space video.
As the first all-civilian mission to space. And you could be on board.
But now this is real space.
Visit inspiration4.com.
Oh, I'm sure that window you're looking out of will be curved to show you ball Earth. So during the fake sports, they advertise fake space. This is a Pringles commercial.
Where is everyone? Pringles Original Barbecue Pizza. The barbecue pizza stack. Look, we're saved. We're going home. Make sure anything else is stuck in.
Many skeptics out there will say there was no satanic symbolism. People that call for an uprising, they're going to do videos about it because they're going to try to drive views to their channel and get attention. Even though most attention and views I get to my channel is because people enjoy the content, enjoy me personally, which I appreciate, which I don't know why anyone would enjoy me, and because, well, they think that talking about these current topics and things going on somehow raises a ton of views when, channels like mine, the name A Call for an Uprising is completely suppressed on YouTube. But you may have watched The Weeknd during the Super Bowl, and you may have been bored to death. You may have been looking at it and saying, I don't see much. It's fair. It's fair. Because we didn't technically see somebody dress up like Baphomet, like Madonna. We didn't technically see people, shining pyramids and stuff. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that there weren't extra singers there with The Weeknd doing extra rituals and all this stuff. But I would love to point out what was actually going on if you want to see. And look, you can call it crazy and you could leave now or you could listen. I've talked about, and I always talk about, the most important symbol to the occult. No, it's not the pyramid with the all-seeing eye that people think is the most important thing, which, the Illuminati thing. And of course I get criticized all the time because my logo has that, even though people are so dumb they don't realize it's burning on fire and crying because of the fact that I'm burning it on fire and killing it, which is exactly what I'm going to continue to do to the occult and continue to do to these people. The most important symbol to the occult is the pentagram. The pentagram, right? Now, there's two forms of the pentagram. I've always talked about the fact that you'll drive down roads and you'll see stars on people's houses. That's a great sign to spot a witch. Great sign to spot an occultist. You don't have to believe it, but it's a great sign to spot one. You can knock on their door. I guarantee you that they are one. Guarantee it. Unless they're a Dallas Cowboys fan, or Dallas Stars fan. Not many people are just putting stars up. The 5-pointed pentagram is the symbol of the occult. It is the symbol of black magic. It is what is needed in their rituals. Now, you might say, Cole, okay, where are you getting at with The Weeknd here? Well, I'll get to it right now. The 5-pointed star, the pentagram, when it's upward and the two buttholes, let's call them that because it's a joke, right? On the bottom. Nobody cares, right? They're like, man, it's a star. It's a star. And then when people see it reversed the other way, they do tend to go, wow, Cole, yeah, well, it's reversed. Well, who uses it reversed? Well, the Satanic Temple, of course. But they do it because they don't believe in the devil. They don't believe in the occult. They just believe in, having a great time, equal rights. Everyone should have an abortion, that kind of stuff. The upside down pentagram. Now let's take a look at the Weeknd on the stage here. Now let's take a look at his feet. Anyone see that? Do you notice that? You don't need 7 minutes of him throwing up pyramids with his hands and all this other stuff. Even though he does, he throws up devil horns. He throws up the 666. I'll show you those pictures in a minute. Look right on his feet. Look where he's standing. And what are you going to tell me? Well, the stage crew, they told him that, the best spot to stand in was right in the middle of the stage. We're going to put a star there, and you stand there because you're a mother effing star boy, right? And he's like, yeah, sure, okay. Coincidentally, it's an upside down pentagram. Isn't that wonderful, right? The upside down pentagram. Now, for those who are asking for the layman's terms, can I give you the layman's terms? Because I know there's many people listening. I know there's my normal subs who listen, who have brains, who are good people, smart people. And then I know that there's just total morons who listen because they love this stuff and then they love to do troll videos. They think I care when I don't. Let me just read you this. A reversed pentagram with 2 points projecting upwards, right? Looks pretty similar to that. Is a symbol of evil and attracts sinister forces because it overturns the proper order of things and demonstrates the triumph of matter over spirit. It is the goat of lust attacking the heavens with its horns, a sign execrated by initiates. So, that's what it means. No agenda pushed. And of course, we got so many signs in the audience which are subliminal messaging, right? Enough, alone, love, right? Now, these have nothing to do with any agenda. Do they? Nah. Why would they want you to feel like enough's enough? Well, that's not subliminal programming for you to get the jab, right? Enough. Alone, right? Telling you you're just going to be alone. Can you be alone? Enough. Love, right? What do you think? Somebody came into the Weeknd 3 weeks ago before they started the whole production for the Super Bowl, a month ago, 2 months ago. And they were like, you know what? We're going to put some signs out there. He's like, okay, cool. What are we going to put out there? We're going to put out Chiefs signs. We're going to put out some signs for, I guess, Tampa Bay, their home. And no, enough. Enough. And enough equality is needed now. Okay, yeah. Alone. Well, what does that mean? Well, love. What? Huh? Subliminal messaging at its best. The way they operate during these things. Constantly over and over and over. Showing you this stuff. Telling you this stuff through words. Through signs. Through symbols. Right? And people will look at this. This is what's so funny about it. I watched it and I said, it's not a big thing. It's not a big deal. Right? Because they're not bringing anyone in. They're not bringing in Beyonce. They're not bringing in, Lady Barfbag. But what did they do? Had them right on the pentagram, upside down pentagram. And what are you going to sit there and tell me? Well, it was his mark, so he knew where to stand on the stage. Right? It had to be an upside down pentagram, though, didn't it? Just had to be. What else could it have been? Could it have been anything else? I mean, did we need robots with red demonic eyes the entire time in the crowd? Yeah, well. So we have the jab going on. We've got transhumanism going on. We've got the occult on the rise. And then people like me and you are crazy. So go ahead. Call us crazy. I'll continue to point it out. You don't believe it? Don't listen. Don't like it? Don't listen. Well, the Super One World Order Bowl took place, as most of you know, yesterday. And I wanted to cover it for specifically the reasons behind the narratives that you see, which are very similar every year. Obviously, the main narrative being pushed was thanking the frontline workers, all those people for saving the world, and obviously the Jabberoo. But the other message that was in there that I want to show you is the order out of chaos, divide and conquer to build one, right? I always talk about one. Well, one of the main themes, as always, is togetherness and one. One of the hardest things to preach about when it comes to the New World Order is preaching about one, because people hear that and they say, well, what's wrong with that? They don't realize that when they tried to build the Tower of Babel, when they tried to have, when we had one language, God deliberately scattered and changed the languages and scattered people amongst different lands, because man as one was acting as one to defy God, which is what the Satanists do. Now, that might sound crazy to you, but think about it. No matter whatever really happens, you're always going to have a difference of opinion than somebody else, no matter what. It's human nature. But within a one world government, you're not allowed to have a difference of opinion. That's what Big Brother's about. That's what 1984 shows you over and over again. The predictive programming with, well, if somebody questions it, you go tattle on them and get them, get them to have themselves an accident, get them to, disappear, as the mob would say. And the main theme always with these people is one. We've heard, Bush and the songs. You know how many songs there are about one, called one? And people just don't realize that they're being programmed into one. So the Super Bowl started yesterday with Vince Lombardi. For those of you who don't know, Vince Lombardi is, known as the greatest NFL coach ever, possibly. But the trophy that they win at the end is the Vince Lombardi Trophy. Vince Lombardi is known as, an icon in the football realm. And so they did some type of CGI thing where he talks about, they show him in today's world and talks about one. And then, of course, there's other commercials and things that were mixed in, specifically Bruce Springsteen, which Lord knows why he's doing a commercial for Jeep Cherokee or whatever it is. Born in the USA, ladies and gentlemen. But Bruce Springsteen talking about reuniting America. Well, the whole reason that America is divided is because they've divided America. They're the ones who have done all of this. They are the ones who have created all of the problems in this world, from racial division to inequality to men versus women to divisiveness. They've created it. They've done it. This has been part of their plan to bring us back together as one. The Antichrist will come in the name of one, in the name of love and unity. Everybody will be sick of all this fighting. That's what they're preparing everyone for. So take a look at these.
We did not get here alone. We arrived as one. Because it's not whether we get knocked down, but whether we get back up as one.
The middle has been a hard place to get to lately. Between red and blue, between servant and citizen, between our freedom and our fear. Now, fear has never been the best of who we are. And as for freedom, it's not the property of just the fortunate few. It belongs to us all. Whoever you are, wherever you're from.
And again, one, right? One, reunite us, reunited America. Nobody knows anybody who's in a divided America. The only people we're divided from are these Satanists, these occultists who run and control everything. The stuff you see on the news with the BLM and whites back and forth, it's all socially engineered. It's all created by them. These movements are created by them. They're paid for. They're funded by them. Nobody's running out the door, risking their lives, risking 30 years in prison, to break into the Capitol Hill building, to go throw bricks through, windows at stores in a protest for some guy who supposedly was attacked by the police or taken down by the... This is all engineered. It's a movie. The problem is that the thing that they're targeting is the minds of the masses. And one has always been the goal. And yesterday, the Super Bowl, every year, right? We've seen it. Remember, I talked about Coldplay before the Super Bowl yesterday? Together, Love, One. Then you have, what is that horrible? Maroon 5. Oh, my ears are bleeding just thinking of them, right? When they performed, you saw One behind them. What would that have to do with anything? What does it have to do with anything that they're talking about or singing about? Well, it has everything to do with everything. It's part of the mass agenda and the Together agenda, right? They're creating this divisiveness to unite everyone when the simple fact is that people aren't divided. They've created this divide with fake paradigms like the left and right, with racial inequality when there isn't inequality. They've convinced people of this stuff. And they've divided us. So one is a constant theme. And I'll show you right now how this theme is constantly played out.
You said one love, one life, one love, one life. One more time before the field fades. I'm not the one, but you're the only one. Make me feel like this. I'm not the one, but you're the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will live as one.
La mayor parte de los habitantes del planeta se declaran creyentes. Esto debería provocar un diálogo entre las religiones. No debemos dejar de orar por él y colaborar con quienes piensan distinto.
Confío en Buda. Creo en Dios. Creo en Jesucristo. Creo en Dios. Allah.
Muchos piensan distinto, sienten distinto, buscan a Dios o encuentran a Dios de diversa manera. En esta multitud, en este abanico de religiones, hay una sola certeza que tenemos para todos. Todos somos hijos de Dios.
Creo en el amor.
Creo en el amor.
Creo en el amor. Creo en el amor.
Confío en vos para difundir mi petición de este mes. Que el diálogo sincero entre hombres y mujeres de diversas religiones conlleve frutos de paz y justicia. Confío en tu oración.
I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will live as one.
And that's that, right? As John Lennon says, the world will be as one. That is the end game. The one world order, the one world government, the one world religion, all under the watchful eye of Satan and under the reign of the Antichrist.